Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Super Ninja Austin here. This is the 72nd episode of the SNA podcast, which we're going to talk about the latest edition of tonight's AEW Collision, which is the AEW Collision Review Part 9. Let's begin. We're going to start off with Adam Copeland making his in-ring entrance, I should say, and cut a welcoming promo, welcoming the Cleveland, Ohio fans in the best way. And then this is where with a special introduction with the ring announcer Dasha saying the rated R superstar Adam Copeland. And then this is where Adam got the microphone. This is where he says tells the fans let's see right here. Here's one of the fans like Cleveland, Ohio. Now I got to tell you, it was rainy and cold and nasty out there in this building. Let's get it hot in here in this building. And then he's like, last week, this week, actually, I should say on Dynamite, because Christian Cage, yeah, that man. And when the fans start booing, like, boo, they not want to hear anything that comes from Christian Cage. This would, and he's like, I don't actually believe them, but I need to come out here and then address everything he got to say. And then before he got a chance to finish his sentence, one second, Trey. This is where Christian Cage comes out here. This is where he got like 5 bodyguards. One in the middle had a brown suit and an orange tie matching the Cleveland Browns. It looked like some kind of a cameo that way. This is where, and that's at Cleveland. I think it was Toledo, but anyway, this is where Christian Cage was like, Toledo, like, shut your damn mouths. And then I'm conducting business here. And then the fans start booing more loud. I think it's making Dominic Mysterio envy because he was doing it so loud. And then Dominic was like, man, like, if he was watching AEW Collision, of course, this is where he's probably looking like, hey, like Christian Cage, like, how come he's getting that much booze and he's trying to compete with me? I too can play at this game, and then he's probably thinking that of trying to have the fans boo louder this Monday on Raw. But anyways, this is where the fans were booing. This is where the fans even chant "You suck" to him. The "You suck" chants even. This is where Christian Cage was on the mic saying like you Toledo fans know any. A lot of manners. Well, he didn't really say that, but he was we ignored him, but he looked at him like in that facial expression. This is where he was like, Adam, Adam Copeland said, you have a lot of nerves to try to prove my point. And also, what he said, now you really think that you're that special, huh? You just walk up here on Collision and then my show, which is my show, by the way, the King of TNT, of course, because I'm TNT. But you're taking up this old segment while I'm in the main event of tonight's show. And that doesn't seem right with me. So I'm gonna have my security detail out here. The reason I got my security because you. Yeah, because you're upset about the things I said to you last week, even saying going far by using the term "go f yourself" to his former best friend, the rated R superstar. This is where Christian's like, this is for your protection, not mine, of course. And then this is where Christian also said, like, now, like, I'm just gonna cut to the chase here, and then because, like I said to you, you incompetent losers, that I have a main event TNT championship match that I need to attend to. And then this is where he also says to Adam, why won't you nicely step out of this ring and then walk back up to the ramp and then hit the bricks? And then the fans start booing like, boo, you suck. And they're telling Adam, don't listen to him. And he's like, you fans, I'm not done yet. And so you please just shut your mouths like I told you to. And he's like, because you He's like, because if you're gonna stick around here for much longer in AEW, like I'm gonna try to put this to the poorly. It's gonna be like you're from Toledo, Ohio, because you'll be known for nothing, compared to especially what she was referring to. It's not a big city next to from the other cities like Cincinnati, or even Cleveland. Even though he took some shots at Cincinnati, and I totally agree with the current TNT champion on that term. Him of using terms and they're using terms and insults for that, but that's a story for another day, like usual. But also the same with Swerve Strickland. But anyway, that's where Christian Cage was like I said, get the step, or I have my Cherokee remove you with the same way that the TNT champion, the face of Warner Brothers Discovery, I have the BPCC and to escort it to out of the arena, so it won't be no funny business from the Blackpool Combat Club. You know what I mean? And they'll be trying to come up with shenanigans like they're always good for. I want a straight up fight from Bryan Danielson. And if you're here, Adam, and then with that's not gonna happen, I'm gonna beat Bryan Danielson in the middle of this ring and prove what I know all along, and then that is the TNT champion. I am behind the I'm the best wrestler in the world. I was like, well, I don't think you're the best wrestler in the world. I can think of 50 top other wrestlers that are over you right now. I bet you barely made it in the 100 Sports Illustrated list. Well, at least saying this to his heel side, because I'm a Christian fan along with Adam fan, aka the former Edge. But this is where Bryan Danielson came out. He was on the microphones. This is where he also said, this is where Bryan Danielson was on the microphone. Let's see. Sorry about this. This is where he came out of the ring. He's like, I am happy to hear you want a fair fight, because I'll give you a fair fight. He's like, and I got some good news, and you might be happy for this. I talked to Tony Khan himself, and in the entrance of having a fair fight, Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne are also banned from ringside. And I was like, yeah, that makes it fair. We're probably going to see a fair fight when Christian Cage in the ring. And then this is where Bryan Danielson yeah, we're going to find out between you and me who's the better man and who deserved to be the face of TNT and walk out of here as the TNT champion. And then Christian Cage looked very pissed. And this is where Ricky Starks and Big Bill came out, the new AEW Tag Team Championships. Congratulations to those two. This is where Ricky Starks was on the mic. He was like, no, Brian. No. He's like, and he started laughing maniacally. He's like, what's the remake of Wild Hogs? I was like, huh? What's that supposed to mean? And I'm looking at a bunch of idiots in the ring that should have said no to begin with, which is probably a reference to his no movement and yes movement, of course, in WWE. This is where Rick Stark's like, I'm also looking at a bunch of guys who is taking up my time, me and Big Bill's time, even the new AEW Tag Team Championships time on top. And that's where he also stated excuse me, I'm breaking this up a little bad, but I'll be damned. I sit in the back and let it go any longer. And he also said, truthfully speaking, I have no respect for you, Adam Copeland. I have no for you, Bryan Danielson. But I do have respect for you, Christian Cage, the only AEW champion that's standing in this ring and show he's a real champion next to me and Bill here. And he was like, and well, and the rest have to deal with it. And he's like, and also he says, you give me a few minutes. And then this is where he went right behind the security guard, especially the ones in the middle, the small security guard on his right, our left, and then the security guard and the and the big security guard in the middle with the Cleveland Browns custom-made suit. He was like, "Excuse me, big guy. Excuse me, big fella." Which they dug down. You, by sir. I don't think I forgot about the thing I had to deal with. And then the BPCC. I want to say one thing. I don't look at me like that because and then this is where and he's like, don't look at that guy in the silk shirt. And this is where Ricky Starks was like, and he was like you didn't. And then this is where Ricky Starks said, like, it seems like you didn't took style on the other place. I was like, damn, like I know that they do. I know they keep insulting WWE and their ex-wrestlers when they join WWE, but I wouldn't thought that he would go this far to the legendary rated R superstar, despite being a heel, of course. But this is where Ricky Stark also said, like, and then this is where Adam Copeland jokingly said, "You took it from The Rock." We're taking an aim at him of being like a wannabe Dwayne The Rock Johnson. But anyway, this is where Ricky Starks also starts stating, like, saying, and he also called him a vanilla midget version, a short vanilla midget version of him, of The Rock, of course. And I was like, damn, he just straight up roasted him in the mic without any hesitations. Like I don't know how he came up with that. Like I wouldn't even came up with an insult like that to the AEW World Champion or any heel wrestler of the sort. But it's where he's like, go ahead and finish. And then he's like, and then this is where Adam Copeland was like, yeah, know your role, and also what he said. He said, know your role, and also get back to your point. And he's like, wow, like Mr. On the Edge got some jokes. Now, either way, there's the difference between you and me, Bronson. Now, I'm a real AEW champion. Like, if you do not like what I say, how about the two of you guys, like with me and my friends, and we could do the damn thing right now. Like, fellas, what are you waiting for? And then Adam and Brian Danielson look at each other like, okay, like we can set that challenge. But this is where, I believe Ricky Starks did not know anything about the definition of consequences, because this is where FTR's music hits. This is where they head out the ring and even the odds against Christian Cage and Ricky Starks and Big Bill, and then they made sure that they don't get the number advantage. And FTR also, I see that they want their rematch clause for the AEW Tag Team Championships. But I think we're going to have that. It's probably going to be like at full gear, but I hope that FTR does get the opportunity and to maybe become the first ever three-time AEW Tag Team Champions. But this is where Ricky Starks this is where FTR went straight up right into the security guards and Ricky Starks. This is where fans start chanting FTR, FTR, FTR. And then this is where Cass was like 7 days ago, AEW and AEW Medical, they tell me like I didn't have to defend those AEW tag team titles tonight, and you're not 100%, and he's like, you can take the night off, and then Cass was like everybody's banged up, like all the boys and girls in the locker room, like we still put on the show, like the show still must go on despite our status of our health. And he's like, we're gonna do it right here, right now, tonight. Now you took you make the right choice, Ricky. Like, but make no mistake that you're the absolute best of this planet, and that reserved. Yeah, like. And he's like, that's reserved from FTR. And then this is where Ricky Starks couldn't believe it. This is when the fans couldn't believe it. And then he's like, and then Cash Wheeler was like it's so like, even if we don't get our automatic rematch clause, like that's fine, like we get it, like We want to work our way back up into tag team division and earn our rematch. And he's like, those titles are. He's like, and yeah, you better watch out who's coming up next. That's why we might have the opportunity to just step past from the match and not give it to you. And he's like, but like you said, everybody's banged up. Like everybody in this whole building's banged up. And then he's like, do we give up? And then and Dax Harwood also said after he answered that real quickly to himself, saying no. Or answer his own question. He's like, no, we still have to get up and go to work, and also we gotta work. And if we need to, if we don't have, it's not a decision. Like, and then he's like, yeah, y'all may have beaten us only for one night, and that was 7 days ago when we defended our tag title. And then that one I know, but we're too stubborn to step back. And that cat and he's like, I said what earlier. And then he's like, yeah, y'all say you're on top. And I'm going to say what Elton John says what's best. Like, and that is Saturday night is all right for the what is it? Saturday night is all right for the that Uncle Dax said. He's like, you and your friend want to fight on top. And there's like Sir Elton John said the best. Saturday night's all right for a fight to Saturday night is all right for a fight. That's what he said. And Brian Dale said, speaking of that, like about fighting right now, like Christian Cage, why would you and I do a match right now? And then it looked like Christian Cage was ready to make an excuse, like because he want to fight when he has to, which it shouldn't be by force though, but he had to do it by the schedule. That's the good reason, but like. And this is where the security came in and started attacking FTR, Adam Copeland, and Bryan Danielson. Like, dang, like the security guards are doing this or are putting their hands onto the wrestlers, even though these guys could possibly be future AEW talent. But their job is supposed to break up fights, not start them. Like, what the hell? I was completely shocked when I saw the security guards start. But fortunately, Bryan Danielson and Adam Copeland and FTR were fighting them off, throwing them back into the fighting them. And this is where Adam Copeland grabbed the biggest security guard that had the custom-made Cleveland Browns suit and hit him with the Adamcution, I should say. This is where Bryan Danielson had the dreadlock this dreadlock security guard guy, like he was hitting them with the yes kicks and the stomps, the compact stomps. This is where they got this bald security guard. This is where they start hitting fists in the triple team by This is where this bald security guard was getting triple teamed by FTR and Adam Copeland with hitting strikes until they hit strikes for taking strikes 3 times in a row, and then after that they hit the shatter machine. And then this is where Bryan Danielson finally brings this dreadlock security guard that started the whole fight, and then brought him into the middle of the ring, put his arm around his legs, start doing the yes lock, like and then making him tap out. I was like, yeah, it was a smart idea to start a fight with the wrestlers. But yeah, this is where Christian Cage, Nick Wayne, and Luchasaurus and Absolute Ricky Starks and Big Bill was up in the stage. Like they didn't want a piece of that, which maybe was the smartest move for now. But yeah, let me tell you, this won't be the last time we see them tonight, because we're going to be plenty more seeing this in the main event with Christian Cage and Bryan Danielson. And what was y'all's prediction of tonight's match between Christian Cage and Bryan Danielson for the TNT title? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. We're going to move on to MJF, like with a vignette of MJF, like of a message about him being teased and bullied, like just because he was Jewish, which something that he posted on Instagram, on his Instagram story, I believe. And then this show. I'm talking about that, and then he was in Boston, like, and he was visiting the headquarters of the New England Patriots, like, and had a little talk with Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, and then he also and he was at this participate in this little boy's birthday birthday. What's it like his Jewish birthday party? I forget the name of it. I knew what it was, but I just cannot remember at the moment. Let me know what it is down in the comments below. He participated and got invited. He was invited to this party to surprise this MJF fanboy, I should say. This young MJF fanboy, I should say. And then MJF also admitted that Robert Kraft is a huge MJF fan. I was like, wow, like, is he serious? Like, I did not know the owner of the Patriots was a fan of the Salt of the Earth and current AEW World Champion. And then he also admit that he cares and he stands up to hate, like, which he's Jewish as well. I was like, yeah, that makes sense though. So he understands what MJF is coming from, like when it comes to being hated because of being in that culture, and then how to overcome the public's anti what did MJF's called it let me know down in the comments below. Anti-Semitism is rampant, and it's very unfortunate in society. And then don't we need to talk about? It's very important to talk about this. And the Jewish people are in the lower in population, and then those religious hate crimes are very atrocious. Like to say, and that's when. And that's what he said about the hate crimes that go all around the world, like about where the hatred, evil, racist people that kill and hurt the Jewish people. And I'll say for those who do that, I would say hopefully y'all get what y'all deserve, the punishment, like whether y'all go to jail or go straight to hell, because nobody deserves to get humiliated, just like those evil people that harmed the Jewish people in their community. But yeah, and it shows that it said the stand up, the hashtag of stand up to Jewish hate, which I posted. I sent back that hashtag back to MJF on his Instagram story. I said that hashtag stand up to Jewish hate. Jewish hate, indeed, I should say. Hopefully MJF saw it and gave it a like. But yeah, I'm a number one supporter for Jewish people, and I'm going to probably make a video about that when I'm not making a wrestling video, by the way. But yeah, what you thought about this vignette from the Salt of the Earth? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. We're going to move on to the next match, which is Samoa Joe taking on Willie Mack for the Ring of Honor TV title. This is where Willie Mack puts Samoa Joe in a headlock. This is where he Irish whips him right into the corner. This is where Samoa Joe Irish whips him right into the ropes. This is where he tries to shoulder tackle him, but Samoa Joe did not phase nothing from the former Impact star. This is where Samoa Joe's like, "That's all you got?" Like, and this is where Willie Mack is like, "All right, like I'll try another." We started looking at it like, "Okay, I'm gonna do one more time." This is where he's like. And he's like, yeah, one more time. Just give me one shot. Like, and Samoa Joe's like, all right. Like, come on, just give me your big shot. This is where he try to shoulder tackle Samoa Joe. He's like, really? Like, that wasn't even harder than the last one. When Samoa Joe started doing like, yeah, like, if you're trying to be a big, dangerous man, like, you got to do it right. He's like, I'm going to show you how it's done. This is where Samoa Joe tried to do it. This is where he tried to shoulder tackle Willie Mack, but he got booted right into his face. It had him turn back around and had his knees down. Where he got back up, he's like, and then this is where Willie Mack tried to go for a clothesline, but he ducked. Samoa Joe, I believe, ducked, and he hit him with a flying lariat out of nowhere. This is where he finally brought this is where he finally brought down Willie Mack. This is where Samoa Joe's like, yeah, this is why I'm the king and the beast of the TV division. This is where he started hitting the right strikes and like he usually do, like every match where like whether if he's in WWE, AEW, or Impact, like he does. This is where he started punching him like 20 times in a row, right until he got down onto the lower part of the turnbuckles, the lower turnbuckle, like the middle turnbuckle and the bottom turnbuckle on the top right corner of Tina's turnbuckle. This is where Samoa Joe picks him back up and start hitting forearms right into Willie Mack's face. This is where Irish whips Willie right onto the ropes. This is where he tried to go for a running Uranagi slam, but he got an arm drag. This is where Willie Mack did a most perfect dodge from Samoa Joe. Like he tried to close on, he ducks, spins, turns him around, grabs from behind. He runs right to the ropes. This is where he tried to go for a running attack, which he does. He hits a running step up Instagiri and made Samoa Joe roll out of the ring. This is where Willie Mack goes for a crossbody, but he made sure he was not paying attention to Willie Mack because because of his experience because other wrestlers' experience of wrestling Samoa Joe when they try to go for especially a springboard move, he usually no-sells that. So he made sure he did the smartest move, but he outsmarted and did the smarter move than Samoa Joe with his no-selling. And that is making sure he's not going to no-sell this time when he hits a big crossbody, which is the most comeback move in all sports entertainment, to bring down the Samoan submission machine. This is where Willie Mack was back in the game. This is where he Irish whips Samoa Joe right into the ring post face first. This is where Samoa Joe went back and hit him with a knife edge chop when he started walking away and trying to take a breather from Willie Mack. This is where Willie Mack was not even fazed by it, but he still took the blow, which is distracting. This was Samoa Joe throws him back in the ring, but Willie Mack was not ready to get back in the ring. He got back out. Samoa Joe hits another devastating chop, which I'm not sure if it was very loud. This is where Willie Mack hits a chop of his own, which it was very impactful. Like I was like, if y'all not careful, Gunther probably will try to find his way of going to AEW and add y'all on the list by murking y'all, which y'all not really gonna be murked. But I'm saying Gunther's gonna metaphorically kill him with the chops of his own because of his envious, of course. But anyways, this is where they got back in the ring. Let's see right here. This is where Willie Mack got Samoa Joe down. This is where Willie Mack tried to go up on the top rope to hit his finishing move, that splash he usually did in his time in Ring of Honor and Impact Wrestling. But Samoa Joe counters and hit his knocked him right off the top rope, like his feet was off the top of the support of the turnbuckle and right down he was barely hanging off the top rope. It was Samoa Joe brought his legs back in the turnbuckle and ropes. This is where he picks him up, hits him with the Samoan Muscle Buster, and pinned him 1, 2, 3. And still your Ring of Honor TV champion, Samoa Joe. And the king of television is still reigning as the champion. And what do you think? And when do you think? And when do you think that Samoa Joe is gonna be dethroned? And who do you think is gonna be the one that's potentially gonna dethrone the Samoan submission machine? And what do you think about his title reign so far as the king of television? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. We're gonna move on to the next. We're gonna move on to the next segment, which is the backstage interview with Lexi with the Bulgarian the beast from Bulgaria's wife, Muro's wife, CJ Perry, and the interviewer asked her why is she still trying to help Miro, or why you're still trying to, or even going near Miro, or still trying to be around Miro even though he declined you for your help. And he's like, well, she was like, well, I'm trying to help him. Like the reason why I came to AEW is the chief goals, make stars, and even help them win champions. And then everybody in that locker room. Oh, wait, not what I'm saying. My bad. I mean, she asked questions about what's next for CJ Perry. It's like she's still saying like if my husband Amiro does not need my help, then fine, I'll just go with somebody else who will need my guidance of becoming the next big time star. Like and when I came to AEW here in the first place is to achieve goals, make stars, and help them win gold. And he's like, when everybody in that locker room that wants that find a woman that with a woman like, well, like just come here and accept my offer. This is where Action Andretti was like, CJ, like it's great to see you. And I don't know what to hear what you're saying, but I gotta say that I bet I could benefit having someone like you guiding the management here, guiding me in management. I was like, I just want to let you know that I'm a phone call away. And if you don't know, now you know. Like, I'm Action Andretti. And this is where CJ Perry's like, okay, nice to meet you. And he's like, and then this is where Lexi jokingly said, like, wow, that was quick. Like, and she's like, yeah. And she was like, I can't wait for a call. And I bet Miro did not took this very easily. It's very easy because we're all gonna feel bad for Action Andretti when I explain what happened next with what happened to him when Miro seen him and was where I seen him for hitting trying to have his wife manage him and even hitting on her. But I believe Miro is gonna I believe it's gonna be a new program and it's gonna keep on doing this. Whoever try to have CJ Perry as their manager, they're probably be taken out by her husband himself, the God's favorite champion. But anyways, this is where and then we're going to talk about that in just a moment here. But for now, we're going to have another wrestling match right here. It is Juice Robinson taking on the fallen angel, Christopher Daniels. That's what his name is. It's where Juice Robinson just came before what's his name, Christopher Daniels to have a chance to do anything. This is where he hits him with a running strike. A strike elbow, a running striking elbow. This is where he's like, yeah, yeah, the tank is always full and guns up or something like that. This is where he also let's see right here. This is where he tried to. This is where he started continuing the beat down. What's his name? Christopher Daniels. This is where he goes for. That's where he goes for suplexes and running knee strikes, I believe, and DDTs. And speaking of DDTs, like this is where he tried to go for a DDT right onto the last. He tried to go for another DDT to Christopher Daniels, but he gets hit suplex rather instead. This is where free count the 1, 2, and Juice kicks out right after 2. And we gotta go for a close eye, but Christopher Daniels grabs him, catches him, and hits him with a face buster right onto the reverse STO, I should say, right into Juice Robinson, that's the most rarest move that I ever seen in professional the rarest move in all of sports entertainment and professional wrestling, which we haven't seen much of STOs that much this year so far. It looks like it's probably like 5% away from retiring. But anyway, this is where Christopher Daniels hit the clothesline and then hit a a back axe handle right onto Juice Robinson. This is where he tried Irish whips Juice right onto the other side of the ropes. This is where he countered. And this is where Christopher Daniels hit a kick right to his head and another STO. I was like, wow, he's about to make it more relevant again. Like, if he keeps this up, well, I don't say relevant, I'll say more often. I was like, it's going to turn into the rarest to the more often move. But this is where he tried to go for a pin, but he referee counts to 1, referee counts to 2, but he kicks out at 2.8 seconds. Juice Robinson. This is where Christopher Daniels was like, man, like, I know he's crazy and I know he's on a winning streak now, but I would not expect him to kick out like this. Like, this is where he tried to go for the Angel's wings right onto Juice Robinson, but he rams him right onto the top right corner. Anyway, he just struck your left elbow right onto the Christopher Daniels' face. This is where Juice Robinson was like, yeah, let's go. And then he hits a running cannonball right onto Daniels. He's like blowing and sniffing his nose like if he was blowing his nose. This is where he hits his move, looking like, I forget the name of the move, but he goes be in the DDT position, but he got his leg front and then kick it backwards like Seth Rollins' signature finishing move back in 2014. And then he did that move and he got the 1, 2, 3. And I was like, wow, like this was not really long of a match. Like I thought it'd probably be like the second match of the night, but I would say I can think of 2 matches of the top 2 matches of the night. And I would say, even though this was a short match, I would say I'll give it the third match of the night. Like, just for the entertainment side of things. Like, it was very entertaining, even though we rarely see Christopher Daniels nowadays in AEW. And it looks like he's gonna wrestle for like 1 more year or 2, and then he's gonna call it quits, and he's probably gonna be hanging up his boots for good, and he's gonna be full time in AEW's backstage producing role or managing role of any other position in the backstage role in All Elite Wrestling. But yeah, he gets hit with the maneuver. He lost, and it looks like it remains to be seen what's next for the Fallen Angel. But we know what's next for Juice Robinson because this is where Juice Robinson went right up to Juice Robinson. He'd been down one knee, and he had a ring box looking like if it's an engagement ring, but he'd been on one knee. He opens it. It was the Dynamite Diamond ring. I was like, man, like, why are you acting like if you're proposing, like if you want to marry your tag partner, what's his name? Your tag partner, my apologies, the Mr. Rockhard, talentless tank. Yeah, that's what MJF called it. Like tofu. Or why are you proposing to your friend, your best friend, your Bullet Club best friend, I should say, the talentless tank. But yeah, this is where Juice Robinson like, yes, I would do the honors of wearing this Dynamite Diamond ring. I was like, yo, Juice, like, ain't you married? Like, and did your wife taught you how to do this? Like, if you ever get proposed by somebody before, from one of her private episodes of the portraits of Tony Storm, like, but yeah, like this was very awkwardly hilarious. Like, I'll give this the number 1 goofiest wrestling of the night because it really was that goofy. This is where they're getting ready to try to hit the Dynamite Diamond ring right onto Christopher Daniels. And I was like, poor guy. Like, he's not. It seems like he's gonna retire, but not on his terms. It's not like gonna retire very soon. But I'm not sure much about that. But it's where. This is where the Guns picked up Christopher Daniels. This is where Juice Robinson's like, it's time to do it. And then this is where he try to go for the lethal left hand Dynamite Diamond Ring knock, which he did so. He struck him right into the side of his face, and then it looked like his career is seeming to be over, which is just an exaggeration, metaphoric statement that I'm making, because I'm trying to make this sound very legitimate as much as I can, but yeah, they knocked him out. It looks like we're not going to see him for a long time now. Christopher Daniels, maybe just because they ran out of guys that Juice forgot about. I mean, because they probably ran out of guys who could be Juice Robinson's sacrificial lamb, and it should be definitely MJ, not be MJ, because they need to make him strong as they can. And speaking of the Salt of the Earth, once again, like he has his match against Juice Robinson, or not Juice Robinson, Switchblade Jay White for his AEW strap, which what's his name? Jay White stole, being like Nyla Rose, like I said, every single video when it comes to a topic of tofu Jay White. This is where Juice Robinson lifted his leg right onto what's his name, to Christopher Daniels. This is where it looked like he was urinating on him, like if he was a flat level, what's it called? A flat level, I'll say not level, but I'll say a flat fire hydrant, of course. Yeah, a flat fire hydrant. This is where step right on. This is where he step on. This is where what's his name? Juice Robinson started putting his foot right onto Christopher Daniels' back. This is where he was on the microphone. He was like Maxwell, you think you're the only man that knocked him out with a Dynamite Diamond Ring on his fist? Like, man, where have you been? He's like, I've been knocking out dudes like you for years. You know, but with nothing on his hand. In fact, this ring right here, I got from TJ Maxx. I was like, are you serious? And he's like, $24.99. And he's like, that cordium. Like, but it's not the ring, is it? Like, it's not the ring when it comes from the straight bullet. It's not the ring who's gonna come with the rock hard Juice Robinson. Like, it's the left hand that I don't need anything on it to knock somebody out. And this way he pulls out the Dynamite. I was like, Juice, yeah, but Juice, like, if you didn't need nothing to knock out anybody, like, how come you used it on Christopher Daniels? I guess he was proving the point, like, that he'll be more powerful and more devastatingly brutal if he had such a Dynamite Diamond Ring like the Salt of the Earth. But anyways, this is where Juice Robinson also said that but not this right hand, but where's not this right hand? I mean, he's like, yeah, like I knocked out, but not with this left hand, not right hand, but not this right hand right here. Like, and yeah, no, sir. He's like, no, sir. And at this, and he also said, like, at this Wednesday at the Dynamite Diamond Ring Battle Royal, I'm going to take a shot at that ring, and I'm gonna take everything away from you, Max. Just like Jay is about to take away this double or triple B bang bang strap, bang bang belt strap from you, and he's gonna be on the local palm, and he's like, we're gonna pawn shop that golden thing, or take it to the local. We're gonna take that ring and take it to the local pawn shop, and we're going to bump the Bang Bang Gang. It's going on vacay, baby. And I was like, and I guess you're gonna have Tony Storm join you because, obvious reasons. I'll say for number one particularly, but I'm not gonna talk about that. That's a story for another day. But this is where Jay White went right on the microphone. He started shishing the fans when he started booing them. He was like, hey, shh. This is when the fans are booing, like, so loud. I hope Dominic Mysterio's not watching this because he'll probably be very pissed off. this is where Jay White's like, look, Max, like this is what all this bad stuff happened to me. You are one man, a boy to blame, and that is Maxwell Jacob Freeman, which he said the initials MJF. And he was like, you see, MJF, you put this all by yourself, and we're gonna, and then with you attacking me from behind with your cheap ass devil mask and your cheap ass squad, because we know you don't have no friends, Max. This is happening, like wheels are falling apart, and it's starting off. And it's gonna start with Juice taking away your precious little ring, and it culminates at Full Gear when your world crumbles for good. When I am crowned the true all elite champion, like when I'm crowned with this AEW World Heavyweight Champion, and the fans started booing louder, like boo. And then this is where he started shushing them, which I think even though Dominic's probably mad with envy, but maybe he should take a couple pointers from Jay White, because he knows how to calm down this crowd, because even though they blew loud into the building, they still because they start booing when he starts shushing them. But this is where he was like, everybody knows that the Bullet Club Gold is better than you, Max, and they know it. And guns, we got 2 words for you: guns up. But what do you? What do you think who's gonna win the AEW World Championship, and then for this Wednesday, who you think is gonna win the Dynamite Diamond Ring Battle Royal, and who's gonna face MJF, and if you have your predictions, who you think who it's gonna be, then then do you think they're going to become the new Dynamite Diamond Ring, or do you think MJF's going to retain his ring and be 5-0 and be undefeated of winning this tournament for the Dynamite Diamond Ring ever since 2019? But we're going to talk about that. Like, we're probably going to talk about more about that, like, by this Wednesday. And also, speaking of the Dynamite Diamond Ring Battle Royal, this is where Dustin Rhodes made his presence known that he wants to win the Dynamite Diamond Ring. And he's saying, like, in 2023, at this day, I'm gonna win the Dynamite Diamond Ring and he's like, and also MJF, like, I'm coming for that diamond ring, bro, for around your ring, and most importantly, like, lifetime dream of mine, I'll become the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. And he's like, that belt's around your waist, and I'm coming for it, Max. He's like, and my path of glory starts this Wednesday night in Houston and TBS in my home state in Texas, where it all begins. And he's like, and this is how it's gonna and how it's gonna be forever. And I was like, even if I didn't know who is gonna win the AEW, who could possibly win the Dynamite Diamond Ring, which I don't know who could possibly be, but I would say Dustin Rhodes. I'm not sure, because he wouldn't be the kind of guy that'll be the Dynamite Diamond Ring, but I would see him as the AEW World Champion, like a life dream of being a heavyweight champion in the business, where it's something that I don't think he ever did at least in a pro wrestling promotion. But I hope he does. Hope we give him about a year to at least get one small decent reign as champion. But what y'all think that? But what do you think about Dustin Rhodes winning the Dynamite Diamond Ring? Do you think it's going to be him, or do you think it's somebody else? And if it is him, who do you think that he's going to be the one that dethrones MJF for his Dynamite Diamond Ring, or do you think MJF's going to retain for the 5th year in a row? Or should I say for the past 4 years? But I'll say, yeah, I'm right, 5th year in a row, because because they include 19, 20, 21, and 22 and 23. But anyways, yeah, I'll let y'all be the judge of that in the comment section down below. We're going to move on to the next. Up next, we got this is where we got an interview with Renee Paquette with the Acclaim and Daddy Ass himself, Billy Gunn. And then it's like, and she congratulated them that you successfully defended the trio championship like 3 times in 1 week. And he's like, so impressive. Like, what's next for you guys? And then this is where Bill goes like, before we answer that, like, we got to get to this right here. We've been trios champs for 48 days, which they said at the same time. And then this is where Max Caster, like, and in terms on what's next for the Acclaim, I hope that MJF sees all the hard work we've been putting in. And then this is because of this storyline about his obsession with MJF, which I don't understand what he's doing. Like, is he in love with him, or did you want him to join the Acclaim and be his third best friend of the group, or whatever whatever the case may be? Like, I don't understand why they're doing this and making this to a storyline. And this is where Billy Gunn thankfully shut him down by saying, whoa, like, not this again. Like, stop for a second, Max, because I don't know where you're going with this MJF stuff, but I believe it is a thing for you. It's a thing for all of us here. Like, but we have to work on your relationship skills because they are absolutely rotten. And then this is where Anthony Bowens confirms today it's totally Burl, and then it's way too aggressive with your massaging and stuff. Since we're good friends, but we're gonna help you out with that, like, because Billy here knows about a thing or two about the girls, like I have a thing or two about the guys. And then Bowens also state, like, we're gonna make friends. We can help you make friends with our skills. And this is where Renee Paquette was like, can you excuse us for a moment? Like, can you make a pass for us? And then this is where he pulled him to the side. This is where Billy Gunn was like, this is where Anthony Bowens said to Max Caster that Billy Gunn got a couple of tips for him of how to get whatever person that he's obsessed with or in love with or want to attract is to be friends with or whatnot. Like, this is where Billy Gunn was like, okay, just say the first thing that comes to mind. Like, no. He's like, say the first thing that comes to mind, Max. And then this is where Anthony Bowens like, no, that's a dumb idea. And then this Billy Gunn's like, yeah, like, perhaps that sounds like a horrible idea. Like, that my parents just thought. Like, he was like, just say something nice. Be a gentleman. Just be nice, and then she probably will be convinced. And this is where Billy Gunn brings welcome Renee Paquette back into the interview, like into the interview booth. I should say. And this is where Billy Gunn said, like, Crayola fruit snacks good, yeah. Anyways, this was like, Renee, like, come back in here, like, Max got something to say. And this is where Max is like, so Renee, how about those oral sections? And then this is where Anthony this is where Anthony Bowens is like, damn you, Max, or damn it, Max. Like, why would you say that? And then this is where Renee Paquette's like, and then this is where Renee Paquette was not convinced Renee Paquette was not convinced to Max Caster's offer of doing the oral sessions interview again. But I was like, wow, like, did you really have to say that? Like it's already bad enough you made a joke about some oral sessions, like about her onto your freestyle when you were a heel, when you were where you were in that match against John Moxley about a year or two ago. Like what is wrong with you, dude? Like, you really have to say it like that. Like, you should have specified what you mean. Like, because if you say something without any meanings or any explanation, then yeah, then like any explanation or should I say like Max, like you like if there's any meanings or so if you're saying something that's very odd but you have a meaning behind it, like you should, this best way just to make sure you clarify that, like as soon after you ask for a favor from somebody or offer a offer or ask or not offer. I mean, ask to do something with somebody that is do something that's more innocent rather than inappropriate. I should say that's the best way I could describe it. But yeah, that's where she walks out. Like, that was the dumbass move. Like, okay, like, I'm done here. She walked out of there. This is where Max Caster was like, "Oh, come on, I come back." This is where Matt Menard was like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "You," and this is where he told Max Caster was like, "This is where he's like, here they are, the boys that think the prettiest girls after dances. I think you're really smooth if it can." And this is where, and then this is where what's his name? Angelo Parker was like, "Yeah, you are an absolute idiot," like Renee said, and no wonder MJF is look. And MJF is right about you. You are a loser, and for the scissoring, all this is so totally done. It's stale. It's old. Like, it's time for to end soon. Okay, like, and the boys got a plan for that. And then this is where Matt Menard was like, "How about this point right here? Next week." Yeah, next week at Battle of the Belts, how about y'all put those pretty gold and pink trios straps on the line against us? Because nobody gets a rash ass. And he's like, "We don't get a rat's ass about anything. Like, what comes out of y'all's mouth. Like, we know, like what he said. Like Matt Menard said, like we're gonna do a 48. Like, y'all might have a 48-day reign, like, but what we can do less than 48 days." He's like, "Do less than 48 days," and I don't give I don't give a damn about. I don't care about. I don't give a rat's ass. That's what he said. I don't give a rat's ass. We're gonna get the taste. We're gonna get the taste of that title, and we're gonna get the taste of those titles, and that will be less than 7 days from now. And then this is where and he's like, and this is where Max Caster responded back with a hilarious note of saying, "Yeah, you can get a taste of these nuts of tasting these titles." I was like, damn. I hope he didn't mean that literally because of his BI preferences. But anyways, this was the number one goofiest wrestling of the night from Max Caster, along with him saying, "What about those oral sessions from Renee Paquette?" Which I bet he doesn't talk about anything exactly specifically has something to do with your orals, but it was in a way that this sounds very odd, like especially for him making a joke about that in the past. And I can understand why Renee Paquette was kind of upset about that. But who do you think is going to win this the Battle of the Belts Trios Championship match for the Trios Championship title in a tag team, a 6-man tag match next week between Daniel Garcia and Matt Menard and Angelo Parker against the Acclaim? Like, I'd love to hear that down in the comments below. I believe that the Acclaim are still doing successfully great with those tag straps, and I believe they should retain this championship this Saturday, or not this Saturday, next Saturday, of course, which I'm gonna analyze that as the part my That's the part 10 of AEW Collision. Make sure y'all check that out next Saturday. But also we got some women's mid-card championship match now up next, which is Chris Statlander defending the AEW TBS championship against Sky Blue, which this was the second best match of the night because these women were fighting like if they were in the main event scene and their position in the main event is at stake, like of them not disappoint and deliver the show with an awesome match. This is where Chris Statlander hits a headlock. What's it called? A headlock. This headlock swimmer right into the ground. This is where she got her arm twisted by Sky Blue, but counter twist her arm into her own. This is where Sky Blue tried to go for it again. This is where she go for a cartwheel. Chris Statlander goes for a cartwheel. This is where she twists Sky Blue's arm and put it back into a headlock. But this is where Sky Blue counter Chris Statlander's headlock or even intercept and hit her with the headlock scissors, like right around her head and her legs. This is where Chris Statlander flips out of it. This is where she grabs her on the headlock again in the grappling, start of a grappling way. This is where Sky Blue Irish whips her right into the ropes. This is where she runs. This is where Sky Blue outsmarted her, runs right after her, try to go for a shoulder tackle, but the TBS Women's Champion was not going down. This is where she tried to go for this is where Sky Blue goes for a wheelbarrow maneuver, like. This is where Chris Statlander counters, but this is where Sky Blue hits a back elbow from the residential alien. This is what pissed off Chris Statlander. She grabs her, hit her a headlock, slams her right to the ground, start doing her headlock again. This is where she shoulder tap, and then this is where she got Irish whipped again, once again, like for the second time of the match. This is where she shoulder tackles Sky Blue for the second time in a row. This is where she hits her with a body slam right to the ground to distract her into the ring. This is where Sky Blue tried to run up and attack Chris Statlander, but she dodged her charge. This is where Sky Blue tried to go for a flying head scissors, but this is where Chris Statlander tried to counter. I mean, not counter. Sky Blue countered into a flying head scissors. He spun her around, drop her, and right to the other side of the ropes and to the ring. This is where Sky Blue grabs her to a headlock, tried to slam her into a headlock slamming maneuver, but she got countered by the TBS Women's Champion Chris Statlander with a back suplex, which made her back go straight and slam back. This is where Chris Statlander hits a running European uppercut. This is where she tried to go for another one, but Sky Blue came right on time and stopped and hits Chris Statlander with an insta-gear. This is where she tried to ram her right. This is where she tried to ram Sky Blue right into the midsection, but she counters, hits a neck breaker, a sit-out neck breaker, and then this is where Sky Blue did a smirk, like if she was what's her name, Julia Hart. Yeah, that was Julia Hart. This is where she goes back in the ring right after she did a neck breaker, draped on the outside, and hit her back in her head first, right into the hardest part of the ring, which is known as the apron. This is where let's see right here. We're gonna get to the middle and the end. This is where she tried to go up to the top rope. This is where Chris Statlander counters. This is where she goes up right on the top rope, try to hit a move, try to go for a Frankensteiner right off the top rope, but somehow she got right under her and went right onto the middle ropes and hits the most incredible sunset flip powerbomb I have ever seen in professional wrestling. This is where Sky Blue goes right back on the top rope after she did that to the residential alien. This is where Sky Blue try to go for a big crossbody splash, which is known as the most comeback move in all of sports entertainment. This is where Chris Statlander caught her and hit her with a back swinging power slam. That's what it was, a back swinging power. And then the fans were cheering like, "This is awesome!" Like, which I would say not, "This is awesome," but I say they were cheering like how awesome of a match it is. like I said, the second match of the night, which we're going to talk about the number one match of the night, which is the TNT Championship, the brother of the TBS Champs. This is where Sky Blue came back, hit a super kick to Chris Statlander. This is where she tried to go. This is where Chris Statlander tried to kick her in the midsection. She intercepts and knee her right in the face, like yesterday what she did to, what's her name? Emi. What's her name? The Japanese girl that's like a vampire. Her name is Emi Shirera, Sharia. But either whatever her name is, but anyway, she did like she did to her yesterday, which is like another women's wrestler that loves to wear the color blue usually would do. This is where she hits an uppercut right onto Sky Blue. I mean, not Sky Blue. Hits the uppercut to Chris Statlander. She tried to go for a flapjack, but Sky Blue hits her with the most devastating move in all sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up. This is where she gets back up. This is where Sky Blue hits a super kick. This is where she hits the shiniest wizard knee strike right on the ropes. She ran right into the top part of the rope. She hit the drop kick right into Chris Statlander. This is what she screamed out, like did a rare scream, like which I'm not sure why she did that though. And this is where she tried to go for the Black Widow, but this is where Chris Statlander finally hits her with the Saturday Night Fever, and then this is where the referee counted to 1 and counted to 2 and then counted to 3. I was like, wow. Like, I had not expected the finish to be like this. Like, I expected Chris Statlander to retain the championship, like I said yesterday on my Rampage review. Make sure y'all check that out last night on the SNA podcast. And anyways, this is where Chris Statlander still the TBS champion. This looked like we celebrate. This is where you try to go for a handshake and show of respect to Sky Blue. But I think Julia Hart's Black Miss spell got into her brain, got into what's her name's brain and hypnotizing her perhaps. Sky Blue's brain, and she declined and pushed away what's her name, Chris Statlander's hand for a handshake. Chris Statlander's like, she really doing this to me right now? Like, usually the old Sky Blue would have handshake me no matter what. You like, come on, like handshake, like. And then this is where Sky Blue said, no, I said I don't want it. And then Will and the Nightingale try to convince Chris Statlander to say, just leave her alone. Like, if she don't want to get handshake, I guess don't push the issue. Will Nightingale was but like, and then it was like, you just go and celebrate the rest of your night. Like, congratulations. Chris Statlander was like, okay, like, why are they acting all weird right now? And I was like, I forget that Willow Nightingale did got spat with the mist. Like, and I think this is gonna turn into some kind of a storyline. Like, whoever got spat with the black mist from Julia Hart or anybody in the House of Black faction, they're gonna be hypnotized and possessed by them to be heels and be evil and maniacally heartless, just like them. Like how they are when they make appearance every week. And it looks like we're gonna probably see this from both Willow and Sky Blue, which she should change her name to Sky Black because she going with the black eyeliner makeup and going with the dark persona. That would be a perfect mix to it. Like every day the sky is black or whatnot, and join Julia Hart and be like a female version of the female versions of the House of Black. And this is probably the best way to do it if you're going to turn these top two babyface enthusiasts and turn them into psychotic, dark and evil and sadistic heels, like what Julia Hart is right now. Like, first she was the Varsity Blondes with Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison until she got spat in the mist with spat in the mist by Malachi Black, and she betrayed when they were in a tag team match. Like, a couple years ago or a year ago at like a year or two ago at a pay-per-view, and I'd say 2 years ago, and that's how she's been on with the House of Black ever since. But anyways, this is where we got Kyle Fletcher news. This is where we got Kyle Fletcher against Boulder. Also, we have Boulder against Kyle Fletcher, which that was not really a long match. He only what's his name? Boulder only got like a few hits from Kyle Fletcher, and then he tried to go for his that big leg drop maneuver around the top rope, like if he was Yokozuna and Nia Jax. This is where Kyle Fletcher moved out of the way right on time. He hit his finisher for the 1-2-3, and then he moves on to his next opponent that he wants to face at this Wednesday on AEW Dynamite, which he sent the challenge to this particular wrestler in the backstage interview studio, saying sending a message to that person, none other than the god of pro wrestling himself, Kenny Omega. But it's where he says right here into his post-match promo backstage, it's arguably that I am the most talented tag team wrestlers of all time, and then also I am, and then for that accolade, for that accolade of being into that level at the age of 24 years old, and man, at this company, I could stick with the. I need to stick with this singles run and be in a couple more matches, and he's like, and then I want to go 1-on-1 this Wednesday against Kenny Omega in Houston, Texas. I am calling you out. I am calling you out, Kenny Omega, and I will prove that I'm one of the best in the game. And he's like, Aussie, 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 and then he does that finger maneuver that he does as the Aussie opens. This is where we move on to the next match, which is where we get a video package of the returning Preston Vance, Roosh, and I believe Serpentico. No. I think it's Serpentico. And what's that? It's Serpentico, Preston Vance, and Dragon Lee's brother himself, Roosh. And I'll say it's kind of weird seeing the brothers being on two separate promotions. I mean, Jeff Hardy did it. Jeff Hardy was in WWE while Matt Hardy was in AEW back in 2020 and 2021. So it's very similar in that scenario about the wrestling brothers being on two different companies, with Dragon Lee's now on WWE. But a little bit over a year ago, he was teaming with Roosh and Andrade to take on Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks in the first round in the AEW Trios Tag Team Championship Tournament. And now he's on WWE. He was on SmackDown, and he wrestled Dominic Mysterio on Raw. Now he's officially on SmackDown, possibly the newest member of the LWO with Rey Mysterio in it. But that's a story for another day. But anyway, we got some more. He's like, we're the group with what's his name saying in Spanish that they're the group that of destroyers and killers, and he said their names like Solistico and what's his name? Solistico and Preston Vance and me, Roosh, which I believe Solistico is the guy that Dragon Lee teamed with before he joined WWE, and he even won the tag team championship when they beat FTR for the Mexican based promotions tag straps. But this is where he also states that but he let everybody that that try to challenge him for a fight, that they'll be ready for them, basically. And he's like, and he also said at the last in the end of his message, he was like, of this vignette, he was like you're gonna be paying the bill, and if you get if you mess with the bull, you're gonna get the horns. That's what he said. Like that, like the old bull and the bull and say that good old bull in Texas catchphrase. You mess with the bull, you're gonna get the horns. That's right, yeah. But anyway, this is where we got Keith Lee taking on, I believe. One second. Hello? 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 No, I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to tell him. Yeah, he said he I guess because he had them earbuds in. Yeah, I'm trying to tell him, but they're still waiting for it. It's being weird, yeah. I didn't get a new phone. And also, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let's get back to the recap of tonight's AEW Collision. This is where Keith Lee. Anyway, this is where Keith Lee faces this enhancement talent from AEW, which I believe his name is Turbo Floyd. That's what his name is. Yeah, Turbo Floyd. That's what his name. And this is where but yeah, this guy kind of reminded me of Jake the Snake Roberts. I wonder if he was inspired he was inspired by Jake the Snake Roberts with his ring gear. Like, and if it is, I want to give you a shout out to you, Turbo, what's your name? Turbo Floyd, that's what her name is. Turbo Floyd. But this is where he tried to get the offense. Like, he started kicking him and hitting the side strike kick. This is where he started spinning around, doing the muscle flex. And he pointed the commentators like into a winking manner, I guess. This is where he tried to go for the big flexible DDT, but Keith Lee shut him down with a body a body drop. This is where Keith Lee runs right in front of him into the top corner ropes and hit him with a pouncing shoulder tackle from out of nowhere. This is where Keith Lee was a big pounce tackle. This is where Keith Lee's okay, it's over. Like enough of the fashion show. He hits him with the spirit bomb. He got the 1, 2, 3, and I was like, wow, this is the most shortest match that I seen of the night. Did you really have to make it a squash match? Like, even though he's an enhancement talent, but I'm not sure if it was even necessary for him to put Keith Lee in the squash match and to this guy Turbo, what's his name? What's his name? It's but anyway, yeah, the Turbo, and I'll say he did put on one impressive fight at first, but not enough to put away the big man and the former NXT champion and AEW tag team champion. And yeah, he got the win. We're probably gonna move on to the next segment after this squash match. And what do you think? What's next for the Limitless one? And he is in a feud with what's his name, Shane Taylor. We're gonna see a big marquee feud on both crossover to both in a crossover feud in AEW and Ring of Honor. That's what I should say. This is where Lee Moriarty was trying to motivate him with some hyping messages, like as his hype man. Lee Moriarty's telling Shane Taylor. This is where Lee Moriarty's like, yeah, he's not that much of a big deal. Like you slammed him with more impactful moves than he ever did with that spirit bomb. That's what it looked like. This is where Miro came. This is where we finally get into Miro about being upset with CJ Perry having what's his name, Action Andretti being possibly her next client, and also blushing when he was hitting on her, and also like he does not like the message that she's gonna start representing represent other men wrestlers and other than him, and half of them are his arch rivals. And this is where he's like, you think you could? And this is where Miro starts saying like my wife is. And then she's like say like my wife is just all surrounded the things she loves, and also the vicious goat is gonna be vicious and angry, and also what he said, and he's like every time like next time, so let this be a warning, because he grabs Action Andretti and Action Andretti right in front of the camera, headlocking him, saying I am willing to destroy every man that to protect my wife, and realize that she shouldn't represent any other man but me. I was like, yeah, like I would agree in many ways, but I'll say I can think of two right now why she should be his client. Like, see the reason why she should be why Miro should be her only client, because for one realistic fact, and then the other one because she does a very great job. Just look at her time in WWE as Lana while he was Rusev. But And that's when he slams Axel Andretti right into the ground, into this video vignette. And he's like, this is the vicious side of the Redeemer. And also they were hyping up about AEW Dynamite this upcoming Wednesday, which that's gonna be my 10th. This is gonna be my 10th review of doing AEW Dynamite. Make sure y'all watch the AEW Dynamite for those who's going to be watching, and stay tuned for. And also stay tuned when it's over, when I put on my AEW review of the SNA podcast live on YouTube. And anyway, and we got Switchblade, they're hyping up Switchblade Jay White and what's his name against Penta El Miro. This is where we got This is where we got El Mystico making his AEW debut very soon, which he's the former Sin Cara, the original former Sin Cara, and it looks like he's gonna be facing Rocky Romero at next week's Rampage. I believe it's the Mexico's pound for pound crown championship. Pound for pound crown championship match, I believe, which is probably all part of the CMLL Mexican culture promotions traditional match, I should say. So we're gonna see how it goes on this coming Friday on Rampage. Make sure y'all check that out. Which I'm gonna be doing the SNA podcast of part 10 once again. I'm gonna do part 10 of all the wrestling shows. Make sure y'all check out for this coming week. And up next, we got Bryan Danielson taking on Christian Cage for his TNT Championship, which we're gonna get to that right now. And man, and y'all gonna understand why exactly I said this is the number one match of the night. Well, you're gonna get a sneak peek of it right now. And anyway, this is where you're gonna hear exactly what I mean when I was. I'm gonna talk about it right here on this SNA podcast. It started off right here with Bryan Danielson and Bryan Danielson and Christian Cage, and they did it right in the technical fashion. This right here with when he tried to go for the hand, and then this is where he started wiping off on his backside, continuing to wipe his hand off of his right side of his buttocks. This is where he finally did the hand squeezed off to see who's going to get the better of one another. This is where and this is when fans start chanting, yes, 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 when they were locking horns into a drawing position. This is where they start spin. This is where they spin around like if either man's gonna do a neck breaker at any second. This is where he trips him over. This is where Bryan Danielson tried to go for the Achilles lock, is dragging the Achilles lock, I should say. This is where he kicks him right off. This is where Christian Cage is like, wow, like you really impressed. You really surprised me on that. Like, wow, you really have to, you just really impressively just knocked me off my feet. And this is where he's like, okay, but that's the only thing you're gonna get, because you're not going to defeat me for my newly won TNT champion. I will be the forever reigning defending king of TNT. But he didn't say all that. This is just my version of saying it. But this is where they went back to locking horns on their arms. This is where Christian Cage won the grapple. This is where he slams him into a headlock slam. This is where Bryan Danielson rolls him over into the surprise roll, but he got a 1 and 2 count. This is where Bryan Danielson tried to pin him again when he tried to pin him again, but 1-2, but Christian Cage kicks out. He's back into the headlock, right into the ground. This is where Bryan Danielson pulled him right to the right side. This is where Irish whipped him onto the other side. This is where Christian Cage shoulder tackles Bryan Danielson. This is where he hits. This is where he slams the American Dragon with the headlock slam. This is where he tried to go for a headlock. This is where Bryan Danielson once again hit him with a roll up. This is where he only got a 2 count. This is where Christian Cage go for the headlock again, but Bryan Danielson grabbed him by his head with his leg. And started hitting him with a triangle headlock of some sort. This is where he started squeezing onto Christian Cage's head. This is where Christian Cage was gasping for air. Looked like he was going to choke him out at any minute. But unfortunately, that didn't happen because he got his legs on the ropes right on time. This is where he did his 5-second warning count. And this is where they went to the grapple. This is where this is where Christian Cage did a headlock again. This is where he got Irish whip right into the other side of the ropes, diagonal from the American Dragon. This is where he goes for a duck and leapfrog to Christian Cage. This is where Bryan Danielson hits a devastating hip toss, turn into a cross arm breaker, but or even another submission move that he's famous for, and that is the label lock. But Christian Cage rolled out of the ring before he had a chance. Before he had a chance to successfully lock in the maneuver. This is where Christian Cage was like, yeah, he got lucky to bring me down, but he wasn't lucky enough to make me submit with his ridiculous headlock he calls the label lock. What he calls the label lock, a move that he used, but it was with a different name, which is the opposite of no. But he was like, that's what Christian Cage was looking like. He was like, yeah, like, and I'm gonna make it irrelevant when I get through with this. When I get through with this, there's a human form goat, I should say, with this human form goat, or whatever, something insulting. This is where Christian Cage started walking around, annihilating Bryan Danielson, and trying to annihilate Bryan Danielson, not annihilate, I should say, trying to take a breather from Bryan Danielson, I should say, and trying to walk past and trying to gain his energy, I suppose. And Brown says, "Are you gonna come back?" He eventually finally came back in, though. This is where let's see. But yeah, this is where Bryan Danielson. But this is where Bryan Danielson got him in. This is when Bryan Danielson tried to put him in the submission position, but it turned into the surprise roll up into some kind of a unique tangling way, if you know what I mean. But he only got a 2 count. This is where Christian Cage poked Bryan Danielson in the eyes, which I'm surprised the referee did nothing about it. This is where he hits him. This is where he hits him with an armbar slam, like grab him and slam him down into the canvas. This is where Christian Cage also this is where Bryan Danielson right into the corner, right bottom corner, and he stomped onto the arm of the American Dragon. This is where Christian Cage also grabs onto that exact same arm he was stomping on and trying to use to disadvantage Bryan Danielson by bending it backwards. We're not supposed to be trying to dislocate it and trying to re-injure that exact same arm that kept him out of action. But luckily, Bryan Danielson was not allowing that to happen because he started kneeing him, countering kneeing him right into the midsection. This is where he tried to hit him with an uppercut. He gets intercepted into an axe handle right to his arm. This is where Irish whipped Danielson right into the bottom right corner. But Danielson was ready because he hurried up and countered right onto the Christian Cage, which he landed face first right into the bottom right corner of Team of the Turnbuckle. And then this is where He fell right down. This is where Bryan Danielson went right on the top rope, possibly doing a flying headbutt. And then and when he tried to go for the diving headbutt, but Christian Cage moved right out of the way, right on time before he could even land his head right into the ground. This is where he pins Danielson, but he only got a 1-2. Oh, and then this is where he tried to go for that. Try to go for a cross, a W stretch kind of like mid kick. This is where he started squeezing on his arm, bending it sideways and right forward, like we're not supposed to be stretched like. This is where he started kneeing and right into his arm. This is where Bryan Danielson started hitting right hands and headbutts and repeated headbutts right onto the TNT champ. This is where Irish whipped him on the other side. This is where he bows his head down, tried to go for some kind of a body. Probably go for a body drop, which he shouldn't have waited that long. He put his head there to make it obvious because 9 times out of 10, like when you have your head down for too long, like your opponent's gonna instantly counter your request of a maneuver and knee or kick you right into the head. But this is where Christian Cage tried to go for a clothesline, but Bryan Danielson flips him over into a body drop on the outside. This is where he goes for the flying suicide dive, but he got intercepted by Christian Cage with a devastating uppercut that I have ever seen from an uppercut itself in professional wrestling. But this is where Christian Cage tried to pick up the American Dragon, but Bryan Danielson tried to go for a German suplex, but Christian Cage was hanging on for dear life onto the ropes. I should say the ropes is where Christian Cage did a move that I thought I would never see him do in the next 10 years from now, and that was his signature move when he had the mousetrap leg kick. Like right off the ropes, like flipping sideways, like downwards and up spiral right onto the top ropes, like and landed right into Bryan Danielson's face. Something that I've never seen him did in over 10 years, like since 2013, like 2013 when he was in WWE. But anyway, this is where like a Pele kick, like a springboard Pele kick right on the apron. This is where he pushed Bryan Danielson right into that. His bad arm right onto it first into the ring post by pushing him, and this is where he tried to go for another attempt to try to break that arm again, but not him again, but I'll say my apologies. You try to go for? I believe he tried to do that again, but he's like, you know what? Christian Cage was like, I have a better idea. How about do a hammerlock back suplex right off this hard spot of the ring, which was his bad arm. I was like, oh my god, and he slammed it right into the side. I was like, is he insane? Like, why would he do that to Bryan Danielson? What did he ever did to you for you to do such a heinous act like that? Like, you really have no excuse of doing that. That was very unexcusable from you, Mr. Cage. This is where he got him back in the ring. Like, after the referee checked on him and see he was okay, which it seemed like that was the case because he was still continuing. The contest was still continuing, of course. This is where but fortunately, this is where Bryan Danielson came back to this game. This is where Christian Cage tried to go for a suplex, I believe, off the top rope, but Bryan Danielson declines him, knocks him out, and then have him laying there in the middle of the ring. This is where he tried to go for a diving headbutt right onto Christian Cage, and then this is where Christian Cage hits a right strike, right hand slap right onto the American Dragon. Christian Cage slaps him right back. Bryan Danielson with a forearm back at him, answering back to to the leader of the kill switch. This is where he started getting this signature headbutts again. This is where Christian Cage counted and hits a most brutal chop. Like, and I was like, I hope Gunther is not going to be envied the Christian Cage yet, because it's already enough Christian Cage have put up with European guys that look exactly like him in the past before, over a decade ago. That's now on Impact Wrestling, if you know what I mean from this reference. But this is where he Irish whips Bryan Danielson, and he does that backflip dodging maneuver and dodges Christian Cage right off the bottom right corner of the turnbuckle. This is where he tried to clothesline him. This is where he ducks, hits him with a flying clothesline to the TNT champion. Christian Cage was back. I mean, not Christian Cage. Bryan Danielson was back in the game. This is where he started hitting his yes kicks with Christian Cage still standing. This is where fans start chanting, yes, yes, yes. And then the fans were like, oh. And then I was like, can he successfully do the flying goat suicide dive, because he got countered and Christian Cage reversed it, like when he tried to attempt the first time. Usually when a move fails the first time, usually the second time it works. And I was hoping that would be the case, which that was the case. Like, gladly, this statistic is true in professional wrestling. Like, once a move is unsuccessful the first time, it's going to be a guaranteed successful the second time, unless you're double cursed, like, and you just cannot do a move right. But anyways, this is where Bryan Danielson Irish whips him back in the ring. This is where he goes up right onto the top rope. This is where he tried to go for a middle missile drop kick maneuver right onto Cage, which he did so. This is where he tried to go for a pinfall maneuver. Go for a pinfall, but referee counts 1, referee counted 2, but he kicks out at 2.999. Bryan Danielson, okay, I gotta get back in the game. This is where I believe he tried to he tried to go for the yes lock. This is where I believe this is where he goes for the yes lock, but I think Christian Cage it wasn't that. It was let's see. He told me how he countered it. Like, he counters the yes lock. He flips him over, probably hit a DDT. Try to go for a frog splash, and then he goes for a frog splash. He got him, but he successfully executed. But the referee, when he counted to 1 and he counted to 2, Bryan Danielson kicked out right before the referee's hand hit the mat, like a near fall, a second near fall of the night, I suppose, because this is the best way you should have 2.999s into professional wrestling matches. It should definitely be in a main event match, like, or even an opener, like somewhere that the most important match of every wrestling fan's interest and entertainment, I should say. This is where Christian Cage goes for the kill switch right onto the Bryan Danielson. This is where the American Dragon counters it. This is where he started bending his knee down, and then this is where he goes for the yes kicks, like yes, and then he did the yes kicks for a couple of times. Fans were chanting yes. I believe Bryan Danielson was saying it along with him, and he was like, oh, and he does try to go for the final kick. This is where Christian Cage counters him with the reverse. He ducks and intercepts, like, Bryan Danielson's final swinging yes kick when he hit him with the reverse DDT. I'm not sure if I should have called it the yes kicks. I'll just say those striking side kicks, I should say. This is where he hits a reverse DDT right onto the court. This is where he tried to go for the spear, but when he tried to attempt, this is where Bryan Danielson kicks him right in the head, because he's like, it's not my first rodeo. Like, I had to face so many. Like, you should know this, Christian. Like, I faced plenty of wrestlers that had that maneuver under their arsenal. Well, at least a couple of them, of course. This is where he tried to go for the roundhouse kick this is where he successfully hits that spinning side striking kick. Because like I said before, and I'll say it again, normally when you try to execute a maneuver at first and it doesn't successfully go through, then successfully go through as the way you planned and it got intercepted, then it's definitely gonna be a guarantee that it's gonna successfully execute when you try to do it the second time. But anyways, that's what Bryan Danielson did so with the spinning striking kick to Christian Cage, but the referee counted 1, referee counted 2. Christian Cage kicks out at 2.999, which was the third near fall of this match. And then this is where Bryan Danielson, I can understand the signature move, but wow, he just literally kicked out of the move. And I was like, of course, Danielson, because that move hardly works when it comes to using it as a move to win with, for considering it's a signature move, of course. That's just a warm-up until you do the finishing touches. But anyway, this is where he grabbed on the Christian Cage's arms, which I believe the fans that enjoyed this part because, why wouldn't they? Because they would agree that he's getting what he deserved by talking so much rubbish to them and to the babyface wrestlers that their fathers were passed away, whether if they were in the wrestling business or in the acting entertainment business or none of those professions in the world of sports entertainment and professional wrestling. But anyway, this is where Bryan Danielson started grabbing on both of Christian Cage's arms and started stomping him, caving his head in and face in, something that the fans was enjoying in Cincinnati. This is where not Cincinnati, Cleveland. Toledo. Yeah, they were enjoying this in Toledo, and the Toledo crowd was chanting yes, come, and start whistling at Bryan Danielson, come on, do. And this is where Bryan Danielson was getting ready to do the running knee, but got picked off by Christian Cage's spear. This is where he hits him with the kill switch. This is where he tried to go for the pinfall maneuver, but when Christian Cage pins, this was the 4th Grand Slam ever near fall into this match because the referee counted 1, the referee counted 2, and then he kicks out when the referee was about to hit for 3 with a 2.99999.01 away from being 3. But anyways, Christian Cage is I thought for sure, that should have worked. That just came out of nowhere, more than Randy Orton's RKO. And he's it looks like the only way I'm going to have to now for good is to put out the big guns. And then this is where, and also, not Byron Saxton, he's on WWE, Nigel McGuinness said, the movie he made famous. And I believe either Tony Schiavone or Excalibur's the one that made him famous. Yeah, exactly, because he obviously got that from Adam Copeland, because if it hadn't been for Adam, he would not know if he would have used the spear under his arsenal. But speaking of the spear, this is where he tried to go for another spear, but Bryan Danielson counters and he hits him with an intercepting running knee to get some revenge onto the TNT champion. This is where he tried to pin Christian Cage, Christian Cage to become the newest AEW TNT champion. But he kicks out at 2.999. I was how did he kick out? Nothing's not going to put away this man. He's out of his mind. How is he not knocked out from that running knee out of nowhere? More out of nowhere than Christian Spear and Randy Orton's RKO. But anyways, this is where he grabbed onto his arm, hits the label lock, going for it locked in, and trying to make Christian Cage tap, but Christian Cage is no, I'm not gonna tap. This is my championship. No one's not gonna beat this but me. Everybody's hopes and dreams that are gonna be this championship. You better give your hopes up, because I'm not gonna give up this title anytime soon, and ever will. And because even if I'm 4,000 years old, I'm still gonna be the TNT champion. But anyway, this is where he got his legs on. But anyway, this is where he finally got his legs right onto the ropes. into Danielson trying to lock in the label lock. But this is where he tried to redo the move because he got his leg around the ropes. He grabs his arm and then do the lock once again. And at this time, he got it into some kind of – he had his arm – he had his right arm choking his his right arm choking on his neck, like around his neck, I should say, and choking him out. Trying to choke him out to do the label lock, like into tying his right arm right into around his neck in the process, like trying to turn him into the most rarest human pretzel in the world, I suppose. This is where Christian Cage was nearly. This is where Christian Cage was this close of losing the TNT title and getting choked out by Danielson. But if it hadn't been for outside distracting shenanigans, and thank God it wasn't Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne, because it was Big Bill distracting the referee, getting the referee's attention, trying to get in the match, but the referee was not allowing it. This is where the absolute Ricky Starks hit Bryan Danielson in the face with the AEW Tag Team Championship. This is where Bryan Danielson was like, my face. And this is where Christian Cage snuck. This is where Christian Cage snuckingly pinned him, taking advantage of this moment that Ricky Starks helped him out, taking down the American Dragon. This is where he pins him. This referee counted to 1, the referee counted to 2, and he counted 3. And still, your AEW TNT champion, Christian Cage. And unfortunately, of course. But this is where not only this is where they started helping Christian Cage outnumber Bryan Danielson into a post-match outnumbered beatdown. This is where also Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus joined in. But luckily, Cash Wheeler and Uncle Dax Harwood from the FTR guys came out there and started fighting Ricky Starks and Big Bill and Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus, but the numbers got the better of them. But not until the Rated R Superstar came out there, brought the fight to everybody, and then they were beating everybody's tail into a point. This is where it's where Ray R Superstar, and it was a game changer, of course. This is where which I believe this is where Edge went round to the corner to Luchasaurus, starts nailing his fist, looking like he had a pair of cinder blocks into his hands, like he started cinder block right into his hands, and they're nailing it right into Luchasaurus' face, trying to make him return back into extinct into this universe once again for the second time in a row. This is where Big Bill tried to go for a double chokeslam to both FTR members, but both Cash and Dax hits him with an axe handle to knock his wrist out, to let go of his grasp right on the both of them. This is where they hit a double fist right onto Big Bill, sending him packing and out of the ring. This is where they try to go for a shatter machine right onto Ricky Starks, but fortunately for Ricky Starks, and unfortunately for FTR, Big Bill grabbed him out of the ring so he won't get shattered by the former AEW Tag Team Champions. And then this is where let's see right here. This is where Adam Copeland got hit with a right hand by Luchasaurus. This is where he tried to go for another one. He ducks out of that shot. Adam Copeland hits the biggest boot that I've ever seen him do. Like even him doing that to the likes of The Undertaker in his Rated R Superstar Ruthless Aggression days. This is where all the guys went. This is where Ricky Starks and I believe Christian Cage Christian Cage had to hold back both Big Bill and Luchasaurus from getting manhandled once again. And then this is where Nick Wayne was right into the middle of the ring, surrounded by Bryan Danielson, Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler, and the Rated R Superstar Edge. And then this is where they start waiting for him to fully get back. I'm there thinking like, who's going to hit them with the first shot? And then this is where Adam Copeland was like anybody else like, no, like, okay, I'll do the honors. This is where Nick Wayne was right in front of Adam Copeland, but his back turned. He was looking at both Cash Wheeler into the right, Dax Harwood in front of him, and the left was Bryan Danielson. This is where he was like, where am I? Like, don't tell me. Like, if I turn around, I shouldn't turn around, and that I shouldn't turn around, and I'm gonna regret doing this. And this is where he turns around. He gets nailed by a spear from Adam Copeland to send the crowd home happy, and that's how AEW Rampage ended. And then it also been noted that Nick Wayne has a few words to say to both Darby Allin and his own mom, which we're gonna see this Wednesday on AEW Dynamite, and make sure you stay tuned for that. And then I'm gonna do a review after that. And speaking of a review, that's the end of my review. I would give AEW Rampage tonight I'll say 4 stars out of 5 for their good matches with the likes of Juice Robinson against because they're good matches with the likes of Juice Robinson and with Juice Robinson against Christopher Daniels and what's his name? Samoa Joe against Willie Mack for Samoa Joe's TV championship, which I believe that was really good. And I'll say 2 big men now acting like if they were athletic cruiserweights into the match, but they weigh over 300 pounds. I don't know how they could do athletic moves. Even my own dad said that about Samoa Joe. And he weighs like a little bit over than my father does. Like, but anyways. And also, we also had the Sky Blue, more like about to be Sky Black, taking on Chris Statler for the TBS championship. And Christian Cage, and also did just Christian Cage versus Bryan Danielson match, and also and it was just something that you would want to see on Collision, like something if you don't not really craving for nothing exciting, which I'm always craving for that when I watch a wrestling show, something big and exciting into the especially in their biggest show of the year, but. How will y'all rate tonight's AEW Rampage? Y'all let me know. And also, what y'all thought about, for those who watched AEW AEW Collision, my bad. AEW Collision, my bad. I was calling it Rampage. What you thought about tonight's AEW Collision and how we y'all rate it? And for those who watched it, y'all let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, But yeah, that's the end of this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this review of AEW Collision. And if you did, please give me a huge big thumbs up. Comment down below, subscribe, click the bell notification, share it with your friends, like all over social media, so I can grow this channel even more huge and take this content to the next level and into this podcasting videos and into this podcasting content, of course. And also tomorrow afternoon, I'm gonna be doing my Sunday wrestling reviews like I do every Sundays. Make sure y'all check that out. And we're gonna talk about the wildest wrestling news, stories, and rumors that you guys need to know, like probably from, I would say, Wrestle Talk. Yeah. I would say, yeah, on Wrestle Talk. I'm going to read some articles from the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors that you guys need to know on the Wrestling News Updates video. And yeah, I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin. This was the 72nd episode of the SNA podcast, AEW Collision Review Part 9. And I hope y'all have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow afternoon. But in the meantime, SNA, the Assassin, or as I say, Super Ninja Austin, the Assassin, is out of this video. Bye-bye. Hopefully y'all have a good Saturday and a great Sunday, by the way. And yeah, that's my end of this video. Goodbye.